Knowing the indicators that she is testing you is difficult. Some men do, but the majority simply fall into the trap. The tests you take in school using a pencil and paper are not difficult ones. No, this is the test that determines whether she should consider you for a relationship. Whether she ought to spend any of her time and effort on you. What does it mean for a girl to try you out? She administers various tests to you to determine your personality and potential compatibility as a companion. She is attempting to determine whether you live up to her standards, in other words. Although it may sound cliché, you test women you are attracted in without even realizing it. Finding the ideal partner is the main goal here. Strange if you think of it that way, no? However, that is what it is when everything is stripped away. It may sound a little petty to test someone, and you probably don't realize how thoroughly she is examining you. But consider this. Everybody complies. She puts you through certain tests to make sure you're the kind of mate she wants, since she wants to discover the best one. She moves on to the next if not. Relationships and dating are all about that. You won't necessarily stay with someone just because you're dedicated to them right now. To locate the partner who is the ideal fit for them, the majority of people must date frequently and break up frequently. Not all tests are as evident as others, however, some are. Additionally, some are unconscious while others are intentional and done on purpose. In any case, keep your cool if you notice any indications that she's trying you. It may not always be detrimental. Don't worry about whether you'll pass the test, either. Because let's face it. Would you want to stay with her even if you fail the test and she rejects you as the right match? Why would you want to date someone who doesn't think you two are compatible? So, in a way, a woman testing you is a blessing. Because in the long term, it's in both of your best interests. Nothing is wrong with you. Remember that these exams aren't unique to you as a person, first. When you need to have your car checked, keep that in mind. No matter the brand or year, the mechanic inspects every vehicle. When you notice the way she is trying to test you, it might be extremely easy to take it personally. If she wants to test you, you can start to doubt yourself and believe there is something wrong with you. However, there isn't. She's being selfish, as you can see. Moreover, being selfish isn't always a terrible thing. Undoubtedly, it is bad to always prioritize your happiness over everyone else's. She is merely attempting to determine who is best for her in this testing scenario. And as we just stated, that is ultimately advantageous. Each woman undergoes a unique test. The problem is this. The truth is that every woman seeks something different than a man, even though most women perform generic tests on males. As a result, while one woman may concentrate on one thing, another woman may concentrate on something else. Some ladies place a high value on etiquette, while others consider your father's potential. Another illustration is how highly most women value money. Although it might be thought to be superficial, that might simply be one of her values. You can't criticize a woman for rejecting a man who doesn't have a job, is houseless, or resides in his parents' basement, can you? Nobody desires to spend time with a slacker who lacks ambition or direction in life. Women who cherish appearances. Although most men don't have a six-pack like models, many women find that attractive. The individual is described as being in good health and taking care of himself. But, believe it or not, some women prefer a man who has a teddy bear appearance. They prefer him when he has a small amount of belly. You see, everything is relative. Therefore, don't worry or be afraid that you aren't the wealthiest or sexiest guy in the world. If you see these symptoms, she may be trying you. The ideal woman will consider you to be flawless. Always being put to the test. Sorry to tell you this, but before we carry on, you should know that no matter what, you're going to constantly see these signs she is testing you now and then. If she sees you as a potential partner, she keeps a very close eye on everything you do, seeing what she likes, what she doesn't like, and if you can be a true partner for her. Even when people are in long-term relationships or married, they still test their partner. They test them to see if they will notice the dishes are dirty and need to be put in the dishwasher. They test them to see if they remember anniversaries and birthdays. They test and judge you on what kind of presents you give. And keep in mind that she will always try to push you. Life is precisely like that. Therefore, you should adjust to it. She tests your limits to see how far she can go and to gauge your response. She wants to know how you argue, what you do under duress, and how far she can push you before you say enough is enough. The telltale signals she's trying you out. What are the tests, though? A good query. Even better, the solutions are available right now. It's time to find out the truth, therefore let's look at the many tests a female could employ and the warning indications of testing to look out for. She permits you to meet her pals. One of the biggest tests is this one. She has officially accepted you into her life if she introduces you to her pals. The testing will be carried out by her buddies, and she will simply sit back and observe. They'll prod you, taunt you, and ask you questions to see how you respond. You are admitted if they like you. If not, you will have to pass further examinations to proceed. You get to meet her family, she says. When it comes to who they introduce to their family, some people are quite private. As a result, one indication that she is testing you to see if you get along with her family is if you make it that far and you meet her parents and siblings. She also wants to determine whether they favor you. Because, let's face it, nobody wants their spouse to be the family's bad apple. You want everyone to get along and like one another. She keeps an eye on where your gaze veers. You failed the major test this time if you looked at the waitress in front of her. You believed she was unaware? She takes the attention of all the little things when you two first start dating, especially this. She is observing your facial expressions and body language while you are around other ladies. She can judge your loyalty in this way. But if you like her, you would be looking at her, right? She keeps an eye on where your gaze veers. You failed the major test this time if you looked at the waitress in front of her. You believed she was unaware? She takes the attention of all the little things when you two first start dating, especially this. She is observing your facial expressions and body language while you are around other ladies. She can judge your loyalty in this way. But if you like her, you would be looking at her, right? She observes your demeanor. Perhaps it seems a little archaic to pay for the first date or assist her in putting on her coat, but these tiny gestures reveal a lot about your character. You respect her by doing this even though it doesn't imply that you believe she can't put her jacket on by herself. Additionally, it's usually helpful to have someone there to assist you if you need to if she has trouble getting her arm in the hole. She queries your long-term objectives. Despite how corny it may appear, queries about goals and desires are always addressed with a purpose in mind. One of the indications that she is questioning you about the future is this. She is interested in learning about your expectations for the future, your goals, and where you envision yourself in 5 or 10 years. Does it matter right now? No. But if this turns into a committed relationship, she wants to understand what she's signing up for. She watches how you interact with animals. Great movie, by the way. But seriously, if she has a cat or a dog, she uses them to test you. If her dog or cat doesn't like you, she listens to them because animals never lie. They don't have a hidden agenda, but you do. So, another huge sign she is testing you is standing back and analyzing if her pet accepts you, or not. If they bark or growl at you, it's not a good sign. She observes the types of dates you arrange. She notices what you advise right from the start of the date. Do you refer to it as hanging out or a date? In her mind, those are two very different things. Do you take her for coffee or a romantic meal by candlelight? She learns a lot about you on your first date and subsequent dates, including your financial status, your frugal nature, how well you organize your time, and your level of thoughtfulness. The next time you take her out, bear this in mind. She may not pass a comment about it or ask you anything about your romantic side or the size of your back check, but when she sits back and allows you to plan a whole date or several of them, that's one of the signs she's testing you and evaluating you as long-term potential. She watches how you treat other people. If you're at a restaurant, she will notice how you treat the server. Do you call them by their actual name and look them in the eye? Do you treat them like human beings? Or are you rude and expect them to be your servant? It's not just about servers. How you treat everyone, from holding the door for a little old lady to how you treat her niece. It all matters and she's always watching. She discusses having a spouse and kids. When speaking with someone, she may ask, "What do you think of marriage?" Or, "How long should a couple be together before getting married, in your opinion?" Alternatively, "When did your parents get married?" These are oblique inquiries to see if you're considering having a spouse and children in the future. Even your interactions and treatment of kids, such as her nieces and nephews, will be observed by her. She is trying to figure out if you would make a decent father to her kids in the future. She watches you on social media. This is a huge, huge test for girls. Women notice all the time what their men are doing on social media. She knows whether you follow hot women on Instagram and if you comment on women's posts and what you say. And whether or not you are official on social media and how often you post pictures of her are two very important things she watches. She's watching you. Be very careful what you say and do on social media, Because there are a lot of things that can get you into trouble with a woman.